Good evening, you guys. So this is gonna kind of be like a continuation of Martha and Mary. So I guess you can consider it like a part two. I recorded that video at work and I deleted it because some other reason. But anyway, now I was just thinking. I know that like since I left home in August, I've been saying how I couldn't figure out or I didn't understand why I haven't been like as spiritually in tune with the Father as I used to be when I was at home, or why He doesn't speak to me through dreams as much as He used to. And that's honestly where most of my videos came from, just words of knowledge from the Holy Spirit, just me being in the Father's presence and spending time with Him, and dreams that He would give me that I would have to decipher and interpret. That's where all of my messages literally came from. And I figured it out, which is kind of crazy that I didn't, come to this reality before. The reason I don't receive those things from Him, or I haven't since I left, is because I'm no longer consecrated. Shabbat Shalom, sis. Hey, Nishi. Speaking of Shabbat, I'm on my way to Killeen, Texas, to go fellowship with my Israelite brethren that I introduced y'all to last weekend. I'm going to try to record Howard again. I'm gonna ask him. I don't want to be rude. Maybe he may not want to be on camera. I don't know, but yes, I'm very grateful for them. And Father has ordained my relationship with us, Sister Aisha. Me and her, battle similar strongholds and stuff. And Father put me in her life to help her. So I can't wait to see her. I'm gonna be leaving in a little bit, but yeah, that's actually the realization I came to. And I was trying to figure out, like, why doesn't Father speak to me like He used to, when I was at home? I don't get any dreams from Him. And I know that when you say that, a lot of believers, God does not deal with everybody through dreams. It's definitely one of like His languages. He'll definitely give you a dream. He gives unbelievers dreams. But with me personally, He deals with me through dreams and visions very heavily, very vividly. It's actually one of our main communication sources. And I was just kind of confused and wondering what the heck was going on. Like, He does not give me any dreams at all. I felt like He wasn't really speaking to me since I left. And yeah, I figured it out. It's because, when I was at home, I was consecrated unto Him. And that actually makes a big difference. Y'all have been watching me for years. Some of y'all may be new, so you know that you're used to seeing me in my bedroom. At my desk, recording and talking for hours, and that's all I had was time to spend with the Father. And I've been doing YouTube ministry for like, I'm trying to think. As far as just being at home and being isolated and just kind of being raised up in Him for a very, very long time. And I just wanted to come on here and talk about that because y'all may even remember some vlogs where I would just complain and complain and complain how I want to be normal. I want to be working like my peers. I felt very underdeveloped, because Father wasn't allowing me to work. And all I had to do was I would literally wake up, focus on dream interpretations, which don't get me wrong, I love doing dream interpretations. It's a huge hobby for me. And I would just be in the Word, just spending time with the Lord and just ministering to y'all. And I just felt like there was a curse of poverty on my life. Why isn't Father letting me work? I want a car. I want this and that. I want to be normal. I felt I was heavily tormented by that. I was just judging myself harshly and everything because of my age. I'm 26 or 25. How are people going to look at me? And to be completely honest with you, now that He's delivered me from that bondage in that house, and He's been allowing me to work, and it's not even like, it wasn't even a serious job, but it was still working. I see now, we really do always think the grass is greener on the other side, and it's really not. It's really, really not. I could see how somebody who's spending most of their time at home in isolation would feel that way. They want to get out, they want to go live a normal life, but I don't think at that time I was really able to value and appreciate where the Lord had me. And it's not until He releases you and lets you go out and play and you get in the world and start conforming to the world systems, and now you have responsibilities, and when he was taking care of you just fine, that you actually start to appreciate what you had. There's nothing like being in the presence of God. I don't know if that's a lesson he wanted to teach me. I don't think it was a lesson per se. He definitely wanted me at that job for sure, for a purpose, and I accomplished what that was. So I'm not going to say it wasn't his will, but I'm just reflecting on, what I had before I left home. And I don't miss the home at all. I don't miss the people. But I do miss the quality time that I had with Abba. I really, really do. And this is even when I was under severe demonic oppression, all the little crying videos and stuff that I used to make and just being tormented and stuff. He still was like flooding dreams to me. It was still an open relationship. And what's kind of funny? I was even thinking, I think my desk that I always ministered at was somewhat of an altar. I really do think that when you're in consecration with the Father like that, when you're really just alone unto him and you don't really have any other distractions like a job and all this other stuff going on, you don't really have a busy trafficking life, you do have an open altar, spiritual portal to him. That's why he was giving you all those dreams. That's why the communication was more fluid. you know and it seems like now, I hate that so much. Yeah, it seems like now, I had to literally quit that job. And what's so crazy about that, that I didn't mention in the video? When I was praying that prayer to Father, when I was like telling him how I just kind of want to go back to not working and I just want things to go back to what they were, like I literally was at work crying in front of my coworker. And it was just me mourning over like my relationship with the Lord, mourning over the sister I used to be. It was just like a deep, I don't know where that came from, but I was just like, I feel like I'm just so far from God. Like I'm not used to this. And not not used to it in the sense of like, oh, I can't function in the real world if I really had to. It's not that. It's just y'all have to understand, I literally am used to just being alone with him. Ever since I got saved at 15, I have always been isolated as a teen growing up. So it's just been me and him. That's what I'm used to. That's my familiarity. I don't really care about anything else, to be completely honest. If I really had to work, if I had to do that stuff and it was Father's will, I would definitely do it 100%. I'm not against it, but I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're in a position of isolation or consecration unto the Father and it's just you and him, stop praying for him to put you in a different type of situation. You need to really appreciate where you are right now. And people used to always tell me whenever I would, complain like that, I would just get really depressed about that. They would tell me, you better enjoy the time that you have with them now, because when you get married and when you start having kids, all of that time is not going to be there. And kids, when they come, they don't just leave. You can quit a job, but you can't quit a kid. So, of course, I'm not married. I don't have kids yet, but people tell me that, and I would just be like, yeah. Like, I'm sure it'll be, yeah, I'll be a little bit busier, but I'll still have my relationship, and that's really not the case. I think you need to really appreciate and just kind of bask in where the Father has you right now when it comes to just spending time with Him. Because there's going to come some seasons, especially for those of you who are prophets in training like myself, or maybe you're called to like a deliverance ministry and Father's going to have you doing some serious stuff. There is going to come a time where you can't just sit at a desk and just spend time with him and he just allow you to rest at home and just take care of you. You're going to have to be busy. At the end of the day, he is looking for laborers for the kingdom, ministry wise. So if he has you in a season of rest right now, rest from your own works, rest from labor, he's not letting you work, stop tormenting yourself about that. I'm here to tell you, and y'all have seen the videos when I used to do that. It's not greener on the other side. And I was saying in the last video, I completely agree with Shaul, which is Paul's Hebrew name. I completely agree with him in the scriptures when he was encouraging I think that particular church, I think it was Corinth, that it's better to remain unmarried in regards to distractions. Now, of course, I'm a hopeful romantic, so I will never be single. I believe in marriage. I encourage marriage. I have so many marriage videos. Y'all need to watch them. They are extremely edifying. Father has literally been teaching and preparing me on how to be a wife. They are really anointed. So definitely watch that playlist, Christian marriage playlist. But yeah, when Shaul said that, a woman who chooses to be married rather than stay single, in the Lord, she's still distracted because she has to tend to her husband, you know. And even just watching my videos, some of y'all may already be married, so you already know what I'm talking about. But for those of us who have yet to be married, even watching my videos and the kind of messages I've done about dealing with a husband with the Jezebel spirit, narcissism, abuse in the marriage, and how we still have to submit to the Father in those situations. And it really does crucify us and it really does have us bear fruit. But that's true. When you marry somebody, it's not just you and the Lord anymore. He's still going to be there, but you have a whole nother person. You got to deal with their attitude, their personality, their flaws, their characteristics. It's just, and not that that's a bad thing. That's how you grow. Marriage is a sanctifying tool, but it's just, it's not the same as if you were by yourself and you didn't have to worry about like for example, like how some of us still struggle with certain convictions when it comes to our bodies that Holy Spirit has revealed to us, and we fear a lot of this stuff because we know that one day we're going to get married and our husband is going to have to look at our bodies. You don't have to. You know how many convictions we would easily just yield to if we were not thinking about how a dude would look at us, because you're just single. It's you and the Lord. You really don't have anybody to worry about except him. But when you put a God ordained marriage or your husband in the mix, you have to deal with this person's feelings about your convictions and, their acceptance or disapproval of what God told you to do. And, you start dressing differently. You stop wearing the pagan makeup and stop dressing like a harlot, and your husband hasn't really caught up to speed spiritually. So you got to deal with that. So that's what Paul is talking about. Marriage is definitely a blessing. Father can use literally everything as a tool to crucify you. He's definitely going to use marriage for that. It's a beautiful thing, but it's just the fact that what he was pointing out is if you really, really want to be as close to God as possible, a life of singleness would probably be ideal for you. It's not for everybody, and it's not for me. Not at all. But I'm just saying you can use that and just parallel it to other things, when it comes to even with ministry. You could be a prophetess and called to deliverance ministry, but when you're married, you just have multiple responsibilities. You got your kids to worry about. Well, not worry about, I don't want to use that word. We shouldn't worry about anything, but you have your children to feed. You got your husband to take care of. Unless you're like me, I see taking care of my husband to be, it's a pleasure to me. That's something I would actually enjoy. I like spoiling my man. So I personally don't care about that. But you have some sisters, they're not really affectionate. They're not as loving like that. They don't really take pleasure in something like that. They don't love to adorn and spoil, their husbands. They just kind of do it out of obedience to God. But they'd rather be doing something. I've heard that. I mean, that's not my heart, but but yet and still Father has called you to ministry. So you can't even just really focus on deliverance ministry. You got a sister who's single, who's unmarried, and she has no intentions on being married and having any kids, and God can use her more effectively than somebody who is married, and has kids. It's just simple. It's just, you got to count the cost, okay? With anything that you choose, whether it's marriage, working, your career, all this other stuff, a lot of the stuff that you pray for, Father will actually give you because he wants to bless you with the desires of your heart, but it comes with a cost, and that cost is not really having a relationship with him that's going to be as intimate as another sister would have. There's some people who are okay with that. I can never be okay with that. I love him way too much. I'm way too used to fellowship with him to completely conform or just transition into a lifestyle like that. He would have to ease me into something like that very, very gradually. Or I would have to, for sure, make alone time with him, at least on the weekend, or that would not work for me. That's a huge transition, but just going back to the work topic, like I was saying in the other video, it's necessary. I get it. But just speaking to sisters, I really pray and I stand in agreement with you that Father sends y'all husbands that can provide for you and that would not mind, he supports your relationship with God. And, they have some men like that. I hear it all the time. Like, I don't want you to work. My sister in Christ that just recently, got married a few months ago. She was kind of working. She was trying to work at Kroger, just a little part-time job. And her husband told her, I don't want you to work. Just stay home. So you got some good men like that. They just want you to just be at home, just rest. And, our job in that sense would be homemaking, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, that's something I personally take pleasure in. And that's another way of servicing your husband as well. If he's out getting the turkey bacon, because we don't eat swine, if he's out, getting the turkey bacon and whatnot. Let me see, who was that? Hold on a second, y'all. I may have to come back because somebody just texted me. I don't know what it's gonna do.